Here is a tour of the lifts at City Terrassen housing estate in Bonn, Bad Godesberg. This place from the late 70s has a really amazing layout with a lot of corridors and outdoors lifts as well as outdoors escalators. It is an elevated square with a big store below the square and some blocks of flats around it. Also, there is a really deep underground car park right below the store. This architecture also crosses a rather busy street which runs in a tunnel right below the square and beside the store. The area around the tunnel is really grotty and characterful. They never cleaned it up. A lot of pigeon poo around the walkways, and the lifts and escalators in this area are derelict since quite a long time. And now to the lift that goes from a square to the store level, and below it stops on the even car park floors. This lift has been heavily modernized and is not all that interesting, so let's do it quick. And now to the lift that goes from store level down to the odd car park floors. This is an amazing original Tepper lift with an epic DC motor sounds, but it seems the stores have been replaced. If they really have been replaced, this must have been done a very long time ago, because I already know this lift from 2001 onwards and it always had these doors since then. And now up to the square, by using some really amazing O&K outdoors escalators from the early 1980s. I know this place for quite a long time and these escalators, as far as I can think back, always worked. But now they have quite a lot of trouble and often don't work. Also the entire place isn't as frequently used as it was in the past. It seems they don't care so much about their equipment like they did in the early 2000s, where there was still a lot of good shops around and many people used these escalators. They are very deserted nowadays, such as the entire square is. And now into the first residential building. On the 4th floor there is an outdoors walkway on top of the building. I really like that. It connects all 3 entrances. Passenger lift here has been slightly modernized, but it still has the original motor and typical Haack doors with their characterful door restrictor sound. The same entrance also has a basement with storage for wheelie bins. This area has an own lift, which is a really amazing Haack lift without inner doors, with its doors arranged across the corner and having different door space. I really like that. And now to the next lift. This lift is mixed use for the public as well as a residential building lift. All of the residential floors in this lift are locked off. This lift also has a ground floor, which is in the residential area. The lock for activating this floor is not in the arrangement of floor buttons. Instead, it is placed beside the independent mode lock and not labeled, which is quite confusing. You can travel between floor 1, which is the square, down to the even car park floors. On floor 1, the lift opens its doors outdoors into a grotty walkway. And now to the next lift. This lift also is mixed use and only 2 of its floors are public, all other floors are locked off and residents only. It goes from the very grotty area of the square down to the tunnel. This lift has been ruined, it now levels painfully slow and its former grotty brown shaft doors have been replaced with shiny stainless steel doors. Of course they are not that characterful, but the new touch sensitive call buttons are quite interesting. I never seen these before. The store has 2 freight lifts with its doors arranged opposite each other. These lifts are quite similar to the single lift used for the bins, except the door arrangement is different and the shaft doors on street level don't have a lock on them. However, these lifts usually park at the lower floor and you need a key to call them on the upper floor. Unfortunately, I did not get these lifts to ride. Oh dear. And now to a public Haack lift going from the square down to the even car park floors. This lift is totally grotty and awesome, and it is completely original from when it has been built. A really nice and characterful lift. This lift also has a ground floor button, but it has been blocked. And now to the next lift. This lift no longer exists. Well, it actually does exist, but it doesn't work. It used to go from the square, the tunnel, then traveling to the odd floors of the car park. These lift doors have been walled off and the lift cab unfortunately parks on the top floor behind one of these walls, so it is impossible to see it by using an emergency key and open the shaft doors on the car park floors where the doors have not been walled off. This area is absolutely grotty and disgusting. It smells so much here and nobody took care about cleaning this area for ages. The staircase beside the lift is full of dirt and smelly. Most of the lights in the staircase don't work. It was really spooky. Surely a flashlight comes handy down there. The staircase and the old lift shaft go really deep. They go 5 floors underground. Spooky. And now to the area on the other side of the tunnel. The walkways connect to some paths on a hill. There's one outdoor escalator and the lift here, but everything is totally grotty and both items are derelict and didn't work in years. The lift has been walled off on the upper floor, but in the tunnel you can still see its doors. I never saw it in working condition. This lift was already derelict in 2001. It just goes between tunnel and square, only 2 floors. If it was hydraulic, then it was the only hydraulic lift with automatic doors around here, but there's no way of figuring that out. And now back across the tunnel and into a residential building. The lift in here also stops on the uppermost odd car park floor, but not on floor E, even though it has a button for that. That mysterious floor E is the store itself. It must have been very comfortable for residents to ride from the flat right into the supermarket. Well, but the chilly 1970s are over and that ain't possible anymore. And now to the 5th and last residential building, which has a lift just like the last one, but there isn't anything special to tell about, and the entrance to this block doesn't face the square. Instead, it faces towards the street which continues in the tunnel.